Master Koot Hoomi, or KH, by C. Lazenby, published 1917, read by Dave Marsland of Cardiff Theosophical Society. The specific ideal of KH is that of intellectual development, the cultivation of clear thinking and unemotional rationality. This ideal does not mean that he is unloving or absolutely cold, but rather that he lacks all sentimentality and false perspectives when teaching his pupils how to think for themselves. He is said by some to be an embodiment of the same great wisdom prakriti which shone through Pythagoras. There is some weight given to this belief by the very names. Pythagoras comes from the two words Python guru, meaning the great serpent teacher, and phonetically Koot Hoomi is Khartoumi, meaning the great serpent breath, or the great python breath. The great serpent is the name given in the ancient writings to the supreme initiator into the wisdom of love or philosophy, that pure one who through the power of the higher manas dissipated the veils of illusion and gave the clear sight, the white flame of love, an opportunity to illuminate the problems of anthropology and cosmogony. He works continually in all the intellectual movements of mankind, but always behind the veil, and even the adepts are not always taken into his confidence. The ideal which he is expressing is a continuation of the ideal of intellectuality under modern conditions, the great mental power, the glory of man's cool and perfect poise in the higher monastic planes. His is the ultimate word of all science and all philosophy, and according to the power of monastic attainment in the disciple does he quicken his mental outlook. Jnani is his note in its fullest and widest sense. He is the inspirer of all philosophers and scientists, and one may be a very fine and true disciple of KH without expressing any particular religious bent. In fact, in their development at one time, his disciples may look upon all religion as superstition and have no patience with the emotional man or woman. We see his ideal as one which embraces every college and university in its care, every educational movement in the advancement of science and the spread of seeds of monastic energy through the masses. We may thus look upon the Scranton Correspondence Schools and Cambridge University, the manual training schools and Leipzig University, the technical schools and Harvard University, as all parts and centres of the activity of KH. Education in mental development is his work, and at the present time, under the universalising tendency, we are told his ideal reaches into the whole university system to make of it a unit with the teaching systematised from the kindergarten to the entrance of the occult hall of learning. A universal university system with centres everywhere in the three great divisions of the world which we call North, East and West. You understand that these terms do not necessarily refer to the directions of the compass. Mahatma KH gave the intellectual impulse to the Theosophical Society and was aided in his work in this organisation by a master of a very different type, or rather of a different dharma. This was Master Mae'r. KH was the master of HPB in her great intellectual work and the production of that most wonderful of all eclectic monastic disciplines, the Secret Doctrine. Side by side with him in the production of that work were the masters Mae'r, Hilarion and Jesus, and associated with these four were those we name the Venetian, the Austrian and he of the Baltic. Jnani is never complete until Bhakti becomes unified in it, because wisdom, as the Master Hilarion defines it, is the right use of knowledge. The right use is always guided by Bhakti, nor can Bhakti ever be complete until it is unified with Jnani. So when we speak of KH as the great master of Jnani, we do not mean that he lacks love, but rather that he has a great deal of knowledge unified in a mighty plan and clear system, and with it wisdom in the right use of his capacities for aiding and upbuilding of man in his evolution. He is a mighty centre of sympathy and compassion for each and every soul who is earnestly striving for light and knowledge.